I've got Vix up now because they'll go first.
I see it. I'm terrified.
No. All right.
All right, Prij. Jesus, man, are you good?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
I ate too much.
Folks,
right,
what
Vic.
is up and welcome to our PowerPoint with Friends stream. Hey, this is one of our Patreon variety choices for this month. Y'all voted, and here we are. We're going to talk for at least 10 minutes, maybe, about different PowerPoint presentations that are meant to be persuasive. And chat, your goal is to let us know who persuaded you the most for whatever the hell they're talking about. We've got 5 presenters here. We're all very excited to do this. Again, hey, follow us on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam. Support us on patreon.com/SaveDataTeam. We also have Will here from Subpixel.
Hi.
Where can they find your work?
So you're going to want to send a letter, P.O. Box 48325. So write this down. No, subpixelfilms.com you can go to.
Thank you.
Welcome to my presentation this evening. I do have to start off with an apology. My actual presentation is why you should read Mpreg.
What? The ultimate swerve? Are you fucking kidding me?
Damn.
What?
I'll never trust again.
So as we all know, it's me, Vic, your resident fanfiction reader. I'm here to tell you why this particular trope is just incredible. And you should really add it to your weekly, monthly, yearly fanfiction reading. I don't know how often you read fanfiction. If you don't at all, maybe you'll get started now. Let's go. So, let's start with the definition of what Mpreg is. Now, we all know that it stands for male pregnancy. It's a plot device where men become pregnant. Honestly, it's usually in / very rarely in heterosexual relationships in fanfiction, because honestly, that's just regular pregnancy, so, nah. The man who gets pregnant, they're usually cisgender. There's usually some weird magical scientific reason why they get pregnant. And here's this definition up here before you is paraphrased from fanlore.org. Not the most reputable of sources, but we are talking about male pregnancy here. So unless you wanted a medical journal, I don't have much else for you. Let's move into our second thing, the origins of
question,
Mpreg.
Mixed Vic.
Yes.
Where do babies come from?
Here are the origins of male pregnancy. Now, you may think that this started with Star Trek, like most fanfiction things. But I'm here to tell you, no. In actuality, we see a lot of male pregnancy in mythology. Greek and Roman mythology, gods and goddesses were notorious for not really giving a shit about the gender of their spouses or the gender of themselves when a child was born. And famously, Loki in Norse mythology turned himself into a mare so that he could have his child. So this is not new. It's not new to history. People get upset. They get shocked, but I'm here to tell you that it is okay. In fact, what we are reading about is historical. Now let's go about its male pregnancy's presence in media.
Oh, fuck.
So this isn't just a fanfiction thing, my friends. We've also seen it multiple times.
Collection of pictures.
In
It really is.
plenty of current, not so current media properties. Let's start with Junior, an Arnold Schwartzenegger movie that I saw when I was 10 years old and remembered none of.
Question.
So please see this plot synopsis
this-
from Wikipedia.
Do you think this movie sparked your interest in Mpreg because you viewed it at such a young age?
Honestly, it could have.
Okay.
This could have been the catalyst. We don't know. That's a discussion for my therapist, who doesn't get paid enough.
I have a question.
Moving on.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Would you like a VHS copy of Junior? Because I have one.
Actually, honestly, yes.
The person I married is better than the person you married. Get over it.
basically takes a miracle drug. Now, baby, it's a whole thing. Danny DeVito is in it. I actually recently saw a clip from this movie on TikTok in one of those, like, watch it by clip kind of TikTok things. So, anyway, next we have Star Trek. Now, there is an episode in Star Trek Enterprise where Trip Tucker assists a certain type of aliens, and they trick him into being a host for her embryo. In actuality, it ends up not being that he's actually pregnant, so please don't come at me in the comments. I am aware he wasn't actually pregnant. And that it ended up being a misdiagnosis. But it is still presence of this trope within media and popular media in itself. And then last but not least, we have Cosmo from Fairly Odd Parents, who canonically carried his child Poof, I believe, I don't remember, to term that was a result of his marriage to Wanda. So here's a lovely canonical picture of Cosmo pregnant. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's having a baby. And this is what we need to get to. Now, you all thought I wasn't going to talk about Omegaverse.
Of course we're going to get the Omegaverse discussion.
But here we are. You know, male pregnancy, Omegaverse, hand in hand. Some might even say it's one of the most important parts.
Vic, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty slick of you to slide this in here like that.
So let's start with the definition of Omegaverse for our friends out there that don't know what it is. So Omegaverse, also known as ABO, it's a frequent abbreviation, especially when you're looking in those tags in Archive of Our Own. So keep that in mind, my friends, for when you go look for it later. It's a subgenre of speculative fiction. It was originally a subgenre of specifically erotic / fiction. That is typically male love male fan fiction. The premise is basically based on a now debunked theory about wolves and their certain pack dynamics, which in actuality, we now know that wolves only demonstrate those pack dynamics within captivity and not necessarily in the wild. But it provides for great entertainment, in my humble opinion. So let's start with the origins of Omegaverse. Now you may be thinking, how did this start? How did I get there? How did we get to this? Now, there is much debate within the community on where it started, but most of us can agree that it started with a real person supernatural fan fiction. That was based off a prompt that basically talked about alpha males having knots in their penises, and bitch males that don't have the knots, and an alpha male could become a bitch male. Now, this fan fiction in itself is called, if I'm not a call, I ain't no lady, but you'd be the tramp.
You can't just call someone a bitch male.
Guys, I'm not trying to get us demonetized, so that is why you notice a distinct lack of all of the fan art that I had originally planned to put in this.
I appreciate that, Vic.
I didn't think knots would be mentioned today.
I was going to say, none of the words in this page are mentioned in the Bible.
That's really real.
But anyway, so this honestly, it sparks a whole host of new fanfics under this subgenre of fanfiction, right? So we see Supernatural, which obviously gives us our origins. We then get a lot more of these like male characteristics, these mate characteristics from my favorite supernatural creature, werewolves, specifically the Teen Wolf fanfiction, the MTV TV show Teen Wolf, not the movie with Michael J. Fox.
Unfortunate.
It's really important to keep that in mind. So, Mpreg has become an integral part of most Omegaverse stories.
Really?
It really has. Like, to be honest, there is one traditionally published book that is out. Came out maybe in like, I want to say September, December. It's called Bride. But in my opinion, it's kind of difficult to fit it into the genre of Omegaverse specifically because it is a heterosexual relationship and the tropes and other things in which you deal with within Omegaverse kind of are already there in a heterosexual relationship, especially with someone who is a cisgender female, right? So it is highly debated, highly thought that the existence of Omegaverse allows a cisgender male character to experience the like difficulties and like discrimination that traditionally cisgender females and like other minorities have felt. Now, is this perfect? Absolutely not. But in conclusion, Mpreg, when done well and with care, explores the intricacies of gender roles and gender expression. If after this you feel so moved, which I know you all will because I am a fantastic persuasive speaker, I have some recommendations.
Oh, shit!
It is important to note that all recommendations are not safe for work, and you should not read them if you are under 18. Just so you know. Don't read them on a work computer. Don't read them on a work phone. Please do so on your personal devices. So here is one. This is by no means an exhaustive list of recommendations. There are a million that I've read that I do love near and dear to my heart, but these are ones that I've read recently, and I do genuinely think they are very good. This is the exact English, by the way, just so you're aware. I did not misspell anything. I did not leave any words out.
Okay.
You Never a Saint and I loved In Shades of Wrong by Lady Slytherin. This particular fanfic author, I do like their style of writing. It is very good. They have more Teen Wolf fanfics than they do Harry Potter fanfics. The main pairing, just to give you like a quick taste of the tags and the pairing so you don't go in blind, are Styles Stilinski and Peter Hale. Our tags are Magical Styles, obviously Mpreg, and this is a Mafia AU. If you like a good Mafia story, this is for you. I also have included the link here, so I will provide this PowerPoint in case you need it for all of your PowerPoint needs. In the Discord.
Just to clarify, Styles and Peter Hale are from what? Oh, it's Teen Wolf. I'm an idiot.
They're from Teen Wolf. It's on the top of the thing.
I was just trying to let people know, but no, you already provided the information. You're perfect.
Do you mean like Goodfellas Mafia?
Yeah, what kind of funny are we talking? Are we talking clown funny?
We're not talking about funny. We're talking about crime and angst and drama.
And pregnancy.
Male pregnancy.
And pregnancy. And magic. Now, I have a few Harry Potter recommendations. Now, these recommendations in no way support J.K. Rowling and all of her comments on things because she sucks and I hate her. And you should too. Don't give her your money, folks. But here are two fanfics that I like a lot. Are You Breathing Just a Little and Calling It Life? This is a Tom Riddle Jr. and Harry Potter. The tags have Omegaverse. Also, these aren't exhaustive tags. Most AO3 tags are like a mile long. I just summarize them into ones that you might need. It is Omega Harry Potter, Alpha Tom Riddle. There's a link if you need it. And then Bewildered by Sparrow Grimm, which is genuinely an amazing fanfic written so well. It has dimensional travel. It's an AU. It's really good. It's a Harry Potter Draco Malfoy fic. There is implied Mpreg and Alpha Draco Malfoy and Omega Harry Potter. Thank you today for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope that you too will read Mpreg fanfiction.
Can I ask a few questions about this last page?
How long are these?
Oh yeah, how long are these fanfics actually?
They are. One of them is
Longer than Harry Potter itself.
Probably. I could tell you right now. You Never Were a Saint and I Loved In Shades of Wrong is still currently being written, so it's a work in progress. But it currently only has 200,000 words, so not too bad.
You know.
It's a fairly short fanfic. If we're going by fanfic standards. Then Bewildered by Sparrow Grimm is also only 150,000 words, and that one is finished. So there are no additional words that are being added to this one. So you are A-okay and good. And then Are You Breathing a Little and Calling It Life is a very short fanfic. It's only 8,000 words. So it's 3 chapters. It's a quick read. And it's complete, so you don't have to worry about anything being updated.
Okay.
Something I frequently like to investigate with Vic's fanfics is, are they longer than War and Peace? The answer is usually yes.
None of those are.
Yes, that's true.
The contract is only like 1 million words.
Vic has several fics that are over 1 million words, and in fact, I googled this last year, Vic reads more in fanfiction in a year than the average person reads in their entire life in word length. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Jesus.
Wow.
The Mafia Fix never have Mafia. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
They do the one.
Fuck off. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
I'm ready for this. I think Prij is close.
No!
I think Prij is close on this.
Oh my god.
Everybody's gonna do a PowerPoint presentation just to tilt me. I fucking know it now.
Alright, guys. Let's talk about ice cream soup, both in theory and in practice. But we gotta start things off with the basics. What is ice cream soup? And to first know that, we have to ask, what is ice cream? Ice cream is a frozen dessert typically made from milk or cream that has been flavored with a sweetener, either sugar or an alternative, and a spice, such as cocoa or vanilla, or with fruit such as strawberries or peaches. But what is ice cream soup? Ice cream soup is a colloquial term for when you let your ice cream melt to a certain degree before you eat it. This allows the ice cream to have a more milkshake-like texture and thus is both drinkable as well as still eatable with your spoon. So you might be asking, so wait, does that just make it a milkshake? And to that I said milkshake-like. A milkshake blends ice cream with more milk into a thick but drinkable mixture. Which leads to the follow-up question, does that just mean ice cream soup is just a milkshake without the actual shake part? And the answer is, kinda? Like, the fact that you add milk to ice cream, like a milkshake, still changes the texture, but if you want to think of ice cream soup like a milkshake without the shaking part, then I would say you're on the right track. Now the question is, why ice cream soup? Why should one choose ice cream soup over regular ice cream? And to answer that, we must analyze the dangers of regular ice cream.
The dangers, Prij.
Dangers, Zach? Exactly. I see. I predicted your questioning expression. Now, ice cream is cold. You might notice this because it has the word ice in it. And it is often very cold. So cold, in fact, that when you bite into it, it can make your teeth get really cold as well. And they, like, kind of hurt. Like, not, like, hurt like a toothache, but it's, like, mildly uncomfortable, you know? This condition is called scoliosis toothitis, which is when your teeth get cold.
Is this real? Is this the real name of it?
Can't be real.
Obviously,
PowerPoint, it
that
has
is
to be.
the legal medical name.
It's on a PowerPoint. It has
Listen,
to be, man.
Prij, this is such a silly topic. I don't know what the fuck you're cooking with, all right?
This is a serious academic topic.
Why are you biting ice cream?
What you need to understand about scoliosis toothitis is that 100% of people who contract this condition die within 120 years of experiencing this.
You know, Prij,
That is frightful.
I probably wouldn't have asked my question if I had read the second sentence on this slide.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out
Don't read
there.
ahead. Stop reading ahead.
I didn't. That's the problem.
And as we all know, that is bad. And again, that's a pretty scary risk. So we might want to just do a little disclaimers.
Fuck.
Does this mean that eating cold solid ice cream will kill you? And to that, I say maybe. The statistics seem to imply that. But really, who can actually understand statistics? They're honestly the most confusing and ununderstandable thing that has ever existed. As Mark Twain maybe said, who knows, quotes are always misattributed and shit, there are three kinds of lies. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. And
You're
to follow
here.
up on that point, fucking statistics. How do they work? But I don't want to lead you to ice cream soup just because you're scared. Thank you for the $1 tip, ice cream biter. I want to do more than just scare you. I want to lead you to the positives of ice cream soup. So let's talk about the benefits of ice cream soup with using words and maybe even a diagram and maybe pictures.
Oh.
Now, let's play some hypotheticals.
Ooh.
let's say you have Neapolitan ice cream, right? That's the one with the vanilla, the chocolate, and the strawberry. And let's say you scoop a little bit of each into your bowl because you want all 3 flavors. But when you're actually eating with your smaller spoon, it can be tough to make sure every spoonful has all 3 flavors. You know, you gotta like do a lot of intricate maneuvering, or you're just gonna be going from one flavor to the next, and you're not really getting the true Neapolitan experience. Or alternately, let's say you got some good old fudge ripple ice cream. And it's got those delicious ripples of fudge going in there. Once again, you're not necessarily going to get those in every bite. It's just the way it's constructed. You know, you got to maneuver it. Well, let me tell you, ice cream soup can solve all of that.
God damn it.
Because with ice cream soup, when it all melts together, you can stir and mix those flavors together, creating a melting pot of flavors that allows every bite to contain all the joys of your favorite flavor of ice cream. And you may be thinking, melting pot?
America?
I've heard that phrase before. You know what else is melting pot? America. So, does that mean ice cream soup is as amazing as America, the bestest country ever? Well, we gotta dive into that a little more.
Holy
and for that,
shit.
we have a Venn diagram.
Oh
on the left and America on the right.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Ice cream column.
Wait a minute.
We can see that ice cream is a tasty dessert treat. Ice cream has never elected Donald Trump to the presidency, and it's not racist. On the other side, America is a sovereign nation with substantial geopolitical influence. But it has elected Donald Trump to the presidency, and there is a whole lot of racism. And if we look at what they both have in common, both are, as we have mentioned, a melting pot. And both played a pivotal role in the defeat of the Nazis in World War II. Don't ask for any clarification on that. Do your own research, okay? I'm not your history teacher.
I was gonna ask if you had
I'm not your
examples.
history teacher. This is a widely known fact. If you didn't get a good history education, that's on you.
That's on America. You're right.
You didn't
on
watch
America.
Operation Valkyrie?
Yeah.
You didn't have me as a history teacher, that's for sure.
Well, Vic, you are a history teacher. Can you tell me how ice cream soup played a pivotal role in the defeat of the Nazis?
You know,
On the ice cream side, we got all positives. But on the America side, we got a couple of negatives in there, including electing Donald Trump and a whole lot of racism. So, when we really look at the results, ice cream soup is in fact greater than America.
Shout out to Adobe stock images.
So, a brief aside,
Oh, no.
so I had a dream last night, and in it, we were doing a save data cat.
You know who else had a dream, Bridge? Because I.
In my dream, I don't remember much about the stream, but the one thing I do remember is that we had just finished doing a save data stream. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was like this one or a different one. Don't remember. But afterwards, we decided to play some League together, and we convinced Zach to play.
That's why it's a dream.
Zach's username on League was Wu-Tang. I can't understand what in my subconscious linked Zach to the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's incredible.
Back to this PowerPoint, though.
Oh my
Now-
god.
More than just being better than America, there's a mental component of ice cream
course.
soup that I think I want to explain to everyone. And these are
course.
closely linked to the two aspects of ice that allow ice cream soup to occur. The wait and the stir. Now, the wait. So, part of the process for ice cream soup to occur is to let regular ice cream soften up a little bit. And the best way to do this is just to naturally let it soften. And while you do this, this teaches us patience, which I have been told is a virtue. And during this period of waiting, we are able to reflect upon the important things, like our role in the universe, the meaning of life, how to balance our inner desires with our responsibility to the world at large, and also butts. I have included an arrow to a butt to demonstrate what a butt is.
Oh,
I do like big butts, and I cannot lie. So.
You know, that's shrunken down in the image. The game render is actually probably bigger.
See, these are the kind of things you're going to reflect on.
Yeah.
It's important.
But oh yeah, no, I didn't notice that on this side. By properly utilizing this waiting period, we can achieve a Zen-like state of peace of clarity. God, I did not spell check this. And we will become as Zen as the Buddha himself. But along with the wait, there is the stir. Now, as the ice cream begins to gradually soften, then we must take over the process with our own God-given hands. You take your spoon and you stir the ice cream, right? You break it down. You assist the process of the melting by adding your own effort. And like this, we become like the great apothecaries of old who used their mortar and pestle to make tinctures and tonics. And we channel the spirit of the great Amish as they churn their butter, better understanding their lifestyle of hard work and reward.
Vic's face when you said the great Amish was incredible.
And it's these two processes that they really help us grow. They help us grow so much that I made a haiku about it.
What the fuck, Prij?
The wait and the stir. Through them, we grow as people. In dessert, progress. So in conclusion, eat ice cream however you want. I like to let mine melt a bit, but it's whatever. I also really like malts.
Based.
There's an ice cream place near me called Mitchell's that has really good malts. That's what I usually get when I go there. But if it's a more like generic place, I just like cookies and cream. You know, like Dairy Queen's Oreo Blizzards are really good.
Yeah.
You know, just enjoy your ice cream wherever you want, really. That's all I got. That's the end.
10 out of 10.
Okay, well, that
was
took me through
great.
a lot of...
Load it up. Let's see this.
Jesus God. Help me. My presentation is on terminating terminology, the cleansing and correcting of the mislabeled. Now, this is by Felix Fitzgibbons. Shout out to him. We are also sponsored by Airfresh Groovers. Airfresh Groovers. The no smell, the no tell smoothing thing. Now, I can't tell what the hell this is doing. I'm assuming it's working. No. That's how it works. So I've been told. Thank you for our sponsorship. Now we can proceed with the actual PowerPoint. Terminating terminology, cleansing and correcting the mislabeled. You might ask yourself, well, what the hell does this mean? What is this guy talking about? Well,
That is what I'm asking.
let's set the scene, okay? You're in a call with some friends of yours. You might be discussing various things. One of them is the bite of sandwiches.
Yes.
All over the place.
Yes.
You might be discussing that. Your other friend, who is from a country that shall not be named, he says, wow, I had a bite of sandwich before I raced a bunch of 7th graders. That's crazy. It's crazy that you're having these discussions, and then all of a sudden the man who is from a foreign country says, man, I want to visit the United States one day. Where do I go? One of the guys in the call says, I'm from New York. You got to go to New York. It's great. You can avoid anywhere in the Midwest. It kind of sucks.
I know
Like
where this
Ohio
is
kind of
going.
blows. It's not great. It's not the best. And you sit there and you think, wow, this kind of sucks. Like, he kind of just sold me down the river. I'm not too happy with like what just happened with this call. So the main issue, I'm going to ask Will, what do you think the main issue of that call was? Was it the insults? Was it the guy racing 7th graders? Was it discussing where the bites and sandwiches would be?
I think the main issue is where to visit in America.
Close. Yes, the main issue is the gentleman said
Yes.
from New York. He said Ohio. It is not the Midwest.
Oh
Ohio
my
is not the
god.
Midwest. And I am going to show you why that is. Why is this wrong? Well, there's so many reasons. We can't define the Midwest. When you ask what the Midwest is, people just say states. Nebraska's in the Midwest. Kentucky, it might be Midwest. Indiana, I don't know. Pennsylvania, oh, that's like a rust belt. Freaking know what the Midwest is. What is it? Where is it? And how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? These are questions that we just cannot answer.
Important.
We don't know where the Midwest is. So, to prove my point even further, this is a This is a notary of David H. Montgomery, who says, this is the Midwest. Notice how he has Missouri and the Dakotas cut in half, strangely. This kind of sums up my point, that when experts can't define what it is, how is the normal person supposed to know what it is? We don't. He also throws North Dakota in there, which has North in it, and it's bordering Canada. Beyond absurd, but sure. David, fine. Have it your way. Montgomery, flea market. But the Midwest, let's just take a breath. Let's settle down. This is mainland United States. We're gonna ignore Alaska and Hawaii because they have their own problems like snow and volcanoes and shit. And we're gonna deal with mainland
Those are the only problems.
United States right here. This is our focal point. So I want you to just notice Ohio in particular for this, where it precisely is on this map. Okay. This, mathematically, legitimately, is the exact center of the United States. Crazy. It's right near Nebraska and Kansas. Right there on the border is the exact center, north to south and east to west of mainland United States. Hey, look at Ohio over there. Look at that nice triangular shaped whatever the hell it's going on. Look where it is at. It's pretty close to the Atlantic Ocean, which is on near the east coast.
Oh,
you know what it's
that's
also near?
Not close.
Lake Erie and Canada. That's crazy. And look where it's not close to. Oh, wait, this line over here, which is noticeably larger than the other lines I pointed out. Not exactly mid or west of anything. Maybe mid-tier, but certainly not Midwest. This state is nowhere near the geocentric center of the landmass that is the United States. Crazy. So geographically, this can't be the Midwest. Not even close. So, even better, why is this wrong part 5? It confuses everyone not from the United States of America. You saw in our opening title.
I
doesn't know where the-
will absolutely cede this point to you. No doubt.
He does not know where the Midwest is. He's like, well, I thought Ohio was the Midwest. I'm getting confused. Where is this thing? This is kind of crazy. Don't worry. If you're foreign and don't understand what the Midwest is, we're also going to confuse you by having soccer. Because instead of football, like every other place calls it, we're going to call it soccer. Why? Fuck if I know.
the rest of the country.
Okay, even better. United States randomly puts the day, month, and year, it puts the day in the middle, which it's not ascending or even descending. It's just fucked up. That triangle is not going to support that month at all. It's just going to fall over. Crazy. So another thing that the United States just confuses foreigners on, besides just calling the Midwest, and lastly, and I know this one very personally, the entire fucking world uses the metric system, and we stupidly use the imperial system. Yes, these are among a bunch of things that we confuse foreigners on. Let's not add to it with the Midwest. Let's try to simplify it. Let's try to, hone that in, rein that in. Why is this wrong? Part 6. New York, Texas, California, and Florida feel empowered. Look, it's no secret that these guys from New York, California, you've heard
You got something
stories.
to say?
They say that the Midwest is
Vic, you live in
bad
Jersey.
or not great.
I'm from New York, thank you
They
very
all-
much.
You
They
betrayed
all-
your
see-
homeland. It's
See,
fine.
Vic is even trying to put herself into New York instead of New Jersey to make herself feel better, to feel empowered. You gotta be careful.
Born in New York.
You gotta be careful. So,
Vic, I said that to make you mad. I didn't mean it. I
Jump out his
New York,
apologize.
fucking throat.
California,
He's
Texas.
from fucking Ohio, and he acts like Jersey is the worst thing ever. You're not fucking from New York. You don't get to claim New York. You came here from another location. You're
Chris-
not better
Chris-
than New Jersey.
Chris, where are
But the thing is, these guys are trying to distract us from their own issues. Let's talk about New York. The New York City, probably tries to not even recognize that the rest of the state doesn't exist.
That's
It's actually
true.
kind of crazy. It turns out that the rest of New York kind of feels like Ohio, Indiana, if you actually visit any of them. Buffalo's a little bit colder, but
That's
New York
true.
City's like its own, alien whatever dystopia going on there, and they're actually raising the taxes of everybody else in the entire state. I kind of feel bad. Texas, oh dude, don't even get me started on Texas. Texas it's their ego is so big already that they already want to leave the rest of the United States. They don't have time to deal with like this Midwest issue. California, I'm pretty sure California doesn't even recognize any of the other states as existing. California is a California state of mind. If they don't see it, they don't believe it. They might drive to Vegas, which they think is on the other side of the world, and that's about it. And lastly, Florida. Florida's just trying to get all of the crazy stories out onto like the Midwest, trying to blame and deflect. We see you, Florida man, and we can feel you. By the way, did you know that Ian is from Florida? How did we get here? So, you're wondering, how did we get to the Midwest? Where did this problem come from? This is a crazy problem. How did we get here? Well, in 1800s, we had this thing called the Louisiana Purchase. It's great. It almost doubled our, entire landmass right there. As you can see, Ohio is part of the original 13 territory colonies, whatever. That original part where our territories were before it was one of the earlier states, and then it founded in 1803.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the time, Midwest makes sense. Logically, it makes sense. Sure, if we're living in the 1800s, which we currently are right now. However, we added a bunch of territory. It's crazy. That's just nuts.
Manifest destiny, baby.
So if we're now from 1800s to now, but why is this still happening? Why? Well, Americans are egotistical and lazy. They don't like changing anything. You saw it in our opening slide. They'll call soccer soccer. They'll have dates the way they want to. They'll have the imperial system versus the metric system. They don't give a fuck about anybody. If they say something is something, they think it is. That's just how it is. And they're too lazy to do the research on why it shouldn't be. They'll just keep calling it the same thing over and over again. People would rather be right or wrong and blend in than be right and stand out. As a psychology minor, I have seen this many, many times.
Oh.
People would rather blend in and hey, did you know that guy looks like a dingus? And if everybody says yes, the one other person's not going to be like, nah, he's fine. They want to blend in. They want to be companionship is a real thing. Surely there's nothing else that's outdated. Oh wait, there's a bunch of things, like Edison getting credit for electricity. Edison's proper quote is, "I'm a fraud, yo." Tesla said, "Shit's whack, bruh." Yes.
Yep.
Now I
It's
need
kinda
to see an
crazy.
Mpreg fanfic between the two of these guys.
No.
It definitely exists.
So another thing from the 1800s, again, we don't update anything from the 1800s. It turns out another thing we haven't updated is the pace of baseball.
Arizona.
This is actually a real photo that was taken about yesterday. So it turns out when you take photos of baseball stadiums, it's in black and gray with how slow the progress is. By the time a baseball game's over, I've had a third kid and a mortgage. It's fucking awful. Change it. Update it, please. It was made in the 1800s. Fix your fucking game. Just like that. And lastly, our entire political system, which was made before the 1800s. And actually, And you say, well, what part? What part on the slide? What would you fix? Yes, all of it. Just fix it. It's all terrible. So, what can we do? We've reached this far. You've given us all the backstory on it and why this is wrong. What can we do to fix this? Why do we still call things the Midwest? What can we do to alleviate that? Don't be afraid to be unique. Look, it's no secret that any white guy can just have a podcast, okay? Just be unique, come up with your own idea, and don't be afraid, and just say the things that actually mean something instead of trying to blend in with the crowd. Don't be peer pressured, same thing. If somebody calls something the Midwest, you don't have to be Midwest. Just stand up, be proud. And lastly, don't be misinformed. Understand why it's called the Midwest, and then refute that claim. Refute it, big time. But I have my own solution to go beyond this.
Oh.
There's a bonus thing of what you can do. My proposal. My proposal.
I do.
We update and fully clarify the true Midwest region. What we have now.
This is what I wanted you to do the whole time. I'm very excited to see what this is.
I'm glad people hated the rest of my thing. But
No.
And then we also grouped the former incorrect Midwest into a new region. Now, I tried with different names. to what Ohio and Indiana and the like are going to be, I thought about Mid-East. And then I thought to myself, well, you can't do that. There's already a Middle East. And plus, if I name it the Mid-East, then the entire Bush family might think there are weapons of mass destruction and send a war on terror, which I can't have, or else we're going to get an image like this again. And I can't go through that.
Wow.
No way. We can't have that. So we got to come up with a new term that's not the Mid-East. We've got to come up with something. So I came up with something instead of that. It's called the Great Lakes region.
Okay.
My proposal.
Hell yeah.
Let's see a map. This is a map, a little bit more colored than the previous one, but this is a map of the land mass we call the United States mainland again. Sorry again, Alaska and Hawaii. No problems here. All right. So here's my new proposal on what the new Midwest will be. This purple region is now the new Midwest. Notice how the center of the United States is actually Nebraska, Kansas, which makes fucking sense, rational sense. Missouri is right there too. Mm-hmm. Iowa, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Colorado, all part of the Midwest. There's West states in there, there's mid states in there. It's great. It's perfect. It encompasses what it actually means to be Midwest, especially geographically. The second thing we're going to do is label what the new region is that Ohio was formerly part of, but now is going to be rectified and corrected. This is called the new Midwest. This region now is going to be the Great Lakes region. Minnesota is the lake state. It had the Lakers originally. We have Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. I debated whether or not throwing Pennsylvania in there, but I don't really like them as a state. And plus, they probably would feel offended being combined with Ohio in anything. And New York, like I said, they pretend like the rest of the state doesn't exist. So I'm going to pretend like New Yorkers do and leave them out for this one. Plus, they're part of the Northeast, and they're probably pretty happy with that one. So this new region is the Great Lakes region. New Midwest and Great Lakes region. Perfectly transfixed and fixed for both terms geographically. It all makes sense. We're all bordering a lake in some way or another. Even Indiana, who barely is in there, but they're doing their best.
Question. Where does North Dakota get lumped into? What region is that?
There can be actually just north, like Montana and them.
Just North Dakota, Montana, or just north.
Maybe Montgomery can fix that one too.
Okay.
Again, somebody
asking a question.
Somebody asked me where would the South be. That's not a me problem, okay? I'm not from the South. Let them figure that fucking out.
South can figure out their own shit, alright?
South can figure out their own shit, okay? Like, I'm fixing my area, you fix your fucking own area. I don't got time for your shit. So what can we do now? We update this. We update it now knowing the correct terms and states that belong in the Great Lakes region. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to be unique, which means instead now transfers to get up and be proud of what you enjoy. So, yes, there's beyond just being like, I can be weird. I can pick my nose in front of people. That's being unique. Okay, sure, bro. Like, who the fuck cares? I can take a shit in a tree and let it fall down and hit somebody. That's being unique. We don't really do that.
What?
We need you to get up and be proud of what you enjoy, which I guess technically speaking could cover the previous one. Doesn't matter. Don't be peer pressured. Let's challenge others when they are wrong. So instead of just saying like, I should switch over to Midwest. No, if that fuckhead says Midwest, you say, no, it's actually near the Great Lakes region. Sorry, man. Like, we're nowhere near there. Canada's kind of close to us, et cetera, et cetera. Don't be afraid to challenge people when they're wrong. Because there's a lot of wrong people out there. The entire United States, imperial system versus metric system, we're all wrong. Let them challenge us.
Oh, Christ.
And then don't be misinformed. Start using the correct terminology. No more Midwest, Great Lakes region. Follow it. Do it. Start today. Great
Jesus.
Lakes state. Let's start.
Let's start!
Let's start!
GLF. The Great
God
Lakes
and
state.
light together. State.
Thanks all. Signing out from Ohio, a Great Lakes state.
Yo. Jason, again, you started this, like, every reaction you had to Vic and Pridge's presentation was like, oh man, mine's gonna be way shorter and way less than this. No, this was great. Are you kidding me? You had a lot to say.
Hello? Hello, is this okay?
Yeah, this is good.
Is this okay? It kind of adds to the effect. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I started peeing, and then I thought to myself I might have to go number 2, so I was really trying to not do that while standing up and peeing.
Yeah, hey, Will, we got 200 viewers live, baby. Let's do this.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Jesus
Who's ready?
fucking Christ.
Why do we all have America in ours?
William! William!
What?
Welcome, everybody.
William!
Phoenix Wright did January 6th. Just to make sure everyone, even our blind audience, can hear that. It's just a fact of life. Let me know if you can spot the Ian Gibson. Okay, just kidding. It's not actually about that. That'd be incredible, though.
Thank Christ.
I would have fucking loved that.
He was there. Actually, mine's about explosions. No, it's not. It's about Arnold Schwartzenegger,
The double swerve?
Hollywood's greatest star.
What?
Hollywood's greatest star. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the last time I'll be saying his last name because it is a minefield, folks, here on Twitch. That is the beautiful, pristine lake in Austria. I'm not sure where in Austria. It's a big country, big continent. They got a lot of lakes.
It's a great
The
lake
Great
in
Lake,
Austria.
the region. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Over in Austria. Before the silver screen. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I said I wasn't going to say it again, was born in Austria in 1947, folks. A little bit of history fact for you. Other famous Austrians. We've got Mozart, very famous. We've got Sigmund Freud. He fucked his mother, I've heard. Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Bastards. And we got the guy who killed Hitler. He was an Austrian. And that's a baby photo of him because I didn't think I could get away with a real photo of him. It is an actual child photo of him. Of the guy who killed Hitler. He began weight training in 1960. Good for him.
Not the
He's
guy
the
who
youngest
killed
Mr.
Hitler.
Universe.
We're talking about Arnold now, right?
Arnold
Just to make sure.
Arnold. Yeah. He's the youngest Mr. Universe at over 20 years old in 1967. He's the youngest Mr. Olympia ever, and this one specifically said he still had the record for 23 years old in 1970, which is genuinely incredible. Good for that guy. That's him. Bodybuilding.
Jesus Christ.
I had a lot of these just on my hard drive.
That's what they call it, a hard drive.
No wonder
It must have come with Windows, I think. This is ancient Greece in New York. His very first film is Hercules in New York.
Okay, that
It takes place in the 1970s, so that skyline makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you. Hercules in New York, 1970. Credited as Arnold Strong.
Incredible name.
Which is very funny.
Should have kept
a very incredible name. I mean, be proud of your heritage.
No,
Zach.
you're right.
Be proud. The plot here, Hercules has dreams of a far-off place where a great warm welcome will be waiting for him, where the crowds will cheer when they see his face.
God.
In a dream, there's a voice that says, "This is where I'm meant to be." He will find his way. He can go the distance. He'll be there someday if he can be strong. He knows every mile, and it'll be worth his while. He would go most anywhere to feel like he belongs.
God
So he goes to
damn
New
it.
York City. He goes there. It's horribly dubbed, by the way. Actually, it's very well dubbed, but well, you should be able to hear this.
That I'm tired of the same old faces, the same old things.
Like it down there.
Let me be the judge of that. I am tired of the same old ways.
No way!
Same old things.
Right? Like, it's well dubbed, but like also it's his first film, so he's not great at acting. It's weird to see Arnold Schwarzenegger dubbed in 2024.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Okay, let me turn this back down in case something explodes. Okay, moving on.
In case?
Okay, Breakout.
Yes.
Arnold's breakout film, Conan the Barbarian. I just noticed now I've used the wrong movie poster, so if we could all ignore that. That's the sequel. Just shut up and ignore that. It grossed between 68.9 and 79.1 million, over a budget of 20 million. That's pretty good.
Wow.
$48.9 million, please. Send that to me. Inspired a great genre of sword and sorcery films. And Conan brought him worldwide recognition as an action star and established the model for most of his film roles, icy, brawny, and inexpressive, yet somehow endearing. Okay. We're gonna have a quick ad break here, folks, just so we can make our money back. Cold darkness of space has never felt as warm in the stunning first debut novel from Jake Theriault, The Hollow Sun, an incredible book. I'm about halfway through it, and I'm really enjoying it. Folks, this is a routine supply and space station under siege, crew stranded 18 million light years from Earth. The only thing that can get them back home is the truth. I'll let you read the rest of that little thing there. I'm so out of breath. It's really hot in this room. You can get it now. That's a real QR code you can use to scan and purchase the novel. It's on Amazon.
Hey.
So
real talk. Jake Theriault, member of Subpixel, cool guy. Go check out that book.
And also, it's brought to you by the Subpixel Broadcasting Corporation.
God damn it. Don't watch their content, though.
Folks, that's still part of the other slide.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
So good.
That was weird.
Phoenix just kicking it.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Folks, we all like charts, don't we? Statistics. I believe there was a saying from the Clown Boys. They said something about it.
Yep, that's
Statistics
true. That's true.
are like magnets. You never know when to stop eating them. Folks, this chart is movie rating distributions for top male actors. You'll see number 0 is Arnold himself with 100% and a 10 average IMDb rating for his movies. Leo's right behind him, of course. But just goes to show you, he is literally the greatest actor, male actor at least. He's no Anna de Armas, but male actor. And it's just absolutely incredible. Neil Breen should direct him. I saw Neil Breen in the chat. His best films, folks, we've got Total Recall, fantastic movie. Paul Verhoeven of RoboCop fame, and also the movie about lesbian nuns that came out recently. He took a weird pivot in his directorial stuff, and I say good for him. Amazing special effects, including the one in the shot behind you. There's a shot where he's exposed to the surface of Mars where his eyes are bulging out. There's the 2 weeks lady who's the background. There's the nose tracker they just pull out of his nose. It's really good. There's an x-ray machine that is very well done. And there's a lady with 3 boobs. So, Total Recall. 3 thumbs up in my book. Also Michael Ironsides, who is Sam Fisher in Splinter Cell. And it's on Mars. I forget how many tags I put on this. Oh, and there's nothing on the third one. Folks, do you like Family Feud where the host kisses all the contestants? Then you're going to love The Running Man, starring the former host of Family Feud, Richard Dawson. It's a better Family Feud because there's murder. It's better ingredients. It's better pizza. It's Papa. What did he say? Oh. Well, it's a great movie. Go watch it.
Wait, but what's it about?
Too late.
Just go watch it.
I haven't seen that.
We're moving on. Snail's pace. Commando, fantastic film. Won 12 Academy Awards, 8 BAFTAs, 9 Grammys, 1 Kids' Choice Award, 3 Tonys, and it's literally a 2-hour eye-earball orgasm.
Holy shit!
I love the idea that Commando would win a Kids' Choice Award.
Arnold got slimed. It was incredible.
God, I wish.
Commando, fantastic movie. Next up, we've got more great lines. I added this because Jason told me to. As Mr. Freeze, allow me to break the ice. Always winterize your pipes. I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy. All right, everyone. Chill. And it's John Matrix. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. That's great. That's great. Let off some Steve Bennett after he threw a pole through a man's chest. Fantastic. Fantastic. Remember when I said I'd promise to kill you last? I lied. Then he drops him off a cliff. Great scene. Great scene. I eat green berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry. He's hungry.
Oh, shit.
Folks, we're going to play a little game here.
Whoa!
What movie is this quote from?
I'll be back. Terminator.
Anybody?
Terminator.
Terminator? Terminator? Sorry, that was The Running Man. But you get another chance here. What quote? What movie is this quote from?
So mad at you.
I'm so mad.
Anybody? Anyone? Shout out the answer.
Terminator.
Hercules. Hercules.
Sorry, no, that was Total Recall.
I'm
Damn
gonna
it.
fucking.
But you've got a chance with the next one here. This quote, it's a long one. I'll be back. What movie do you think that one's from?
Hercules.
It's not Terminator.
Commando.
It was
Yes.
Commando.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, this one's going to stump you.
Terminator 2.
Batman and Robin.
Sorry, that was the last acting hero.
Damn it!
We got another one here. Anyone? Any guesses?
He can't go 8-hole-1, surely.
Any guesses?
Junior.
Sorry, it was Kindergarten Cop.
Damn!
Okay, final one,
Did you-
folks.
did you
It's not the. It's just the final one in my quiz.
Did you check
he
to make
has
sure
said-
these are all actual quotes from these movies?
Yes, they are because I've recently watched all of them on VHS.
Okay.
I have my. You guys can't see it on the wide, but I do have
I'm
my
gonna say
AV card
Predator
in here.
for this one.
It is not. It's actually Terminator. It's weird you guys didn't
Fuck
guess
you!
that.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
He actually says it in every Terminator movie, or they say it in every Terminator movie. So these were the unique ones, and then there's also the Expendables 2, but I didn't feel like putting that near these good movies.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Folks, also, this is a slight intermission here. AI is bad most of the time. Most of the time. It makes great art, and I think the art... No, I'm kidding. Genuinely kidding. Fuck AI art. But I will say, I was like, hey, what if AI could make Google Slides for me and do background information on Arnold and get some I wanted bodybuilding information. And I want to see what it came up with because it would be funny. It wasn't funny. It put it in not American English, and it's also weird.
What? Oh.
Tabby.
Party, everybody.
Oh, God. This one is the worst.
Gouverneur von California.
Does Arnold Sports Festivals.
Oh, there he is with his kid with no hands. That child has no hands. That wife's arm is floating. Oh my
Wow.
God. Jesus. Anyways, that's the end. Thanks for coming.
Oh man.
Shit.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really stressed.
Very good.
I don't know if mine's gonna compare with anybody's that's gone before me. This movie, I've come to tell you today, is way better than anybody has led me to believe it is. It is a film that gets referenced all the time, despite people never actually talking about anything in the movie. They're just talking about the premise. The actual minute-to-minute jokes, I think, are very good. So let's talk about
Just follow my nose.
why you should watch Weekend at Bernie's. Boom, snap cut. Meet our heroes, Richard and Larry. They're hanging out on the streets of New York in an extremely hot summer day. This is met instantly. Larry is running down the street. Richard, who you can see on the left here in full shirt and tie, says, "Does this look like 10 to you? It's 10:30," showing his watch. And Larry responds, "Only 30 minutes? I'm usually 45. This instantly establishes their odd couple archetype dynamic. Richard on the left is going to be your uptight stickler for the rules who likes things neat. And guess what? Larry's going to be brash. He runs on instinct. He's slobbish. This is also echoed brilliantly by the opening song during this credit scene, where they're playing Hot and Cold, not by Katy Perry, by another much older artist who I can't remember their name right now, and I didn't write it down, but it goes, some like it hot, oh yeah, some like it cold, which echoes the fact that it is both, in fact, extremely fucking hot canonically in New York City on this day, and also these characters are absolute opposites. Moving on, still in the credits, they're walking through Central Park and this man pulls a fucking gun on them, to which Larry instantly responds, "Aw, come on, man, it's too hot for that shit," and just ignores him and keeps walking. And Richard looks at the guy with the gun and awkwardly goes, I'm with him, and keeps walking. This is brilliant.
I mean, honestly, it's a very New York interaction.
100%. They're nailing it. They show up to the office. It's this great big building. The security officer says, "Hot enough for you, Larry?" And Larry says, "Nah, turn the heat up." He's pissed. And then instantly while they're getting into the elevator, he throws his garbage and purposefully misses it, throwing it on the floor.
Wow.
What an absolute monster this
By the way,
man
was
is.
that security guard did that security guard have his shoes off?
I hope so.
Yes, he did. Good catch, Prij. Good catch.
I'm a film guy too.
Yeah, I'm a film
Or a foot guy.
Moving on, up in the office, Richard and Larry are working. It's revealed that they came into work on a Saturday. Larry instantly gets tired of this bullshit and says, "Fuck this, I want to go to the beach." And Richard says, What are you talking about?" And he grabs the documents that his friend is actively working on and says, "If you want this, come with me to the beach." Snap cut, they're on the roof of the building with the child's kiddie pool. The blacktop, I don't know if you call it blacktop in this case, the tar on the roof is so hot that Larry's shoes actively stick to it, and also the beer that he's trying to drink on his not quite work day. It gets on his hands. It's a whole mess. Anyways, Richard says he wishes that they could go to real beaches. Or sorry, Larry, this is Larry, says, "I wish we could go to real beaches." Richard says, "There are no more real beaches. If you want, we could go to Jones Beach and soak in the water with the medical waste. If you didn't realize yet, he is not the fun one."
Hey, leave Jones Beach alone. It's fine.
Sure.
Sometimes.
See, the fact that you even said that means that nothing has changed in 40 years. Moving on, the plot happens. Richard has realized through all of these documents that he has found a life insurance policy fraud. Someone has claimed a life insurance claim 4 times, meaning they have died 4 times, which, hey, as we all know, is impossible. They're going to use this to climb the ranks of the corporate meritocracy. And we cut to Monday as they come back into work, excited to tell their boss. But guess what? They see an intern that Richard has had the hots for apparently months. And they all get cram-packed into an elevator because, of course, that's a great trope. And it is in fact this girl right here, in case you couldn't tell.
Oh, the
standing in front of Richard.
non-NPC-looking one.
Yeah. And the whole time in the scene, Larry is telling Richard, "You're blowing it. Go for it." And everyone's like looking at them like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Because they're the only guys talking in this elevator. Eventually, they get out of the elevator and Larry shoves Richard towards this girl. And she's like, "Yes." And he pauses for what feels like a literal eternity before saying, "My aunt is very sick." And then proceeds to die by embarrassment. How embarrassing. And he walks away. But guess what? It's fine, because we're about to meet Bernie. Yes, this is the titular Bernie. His name for right now is Mr. Lomax. He is talking to his secretary, asking if several different women have called him. Apparently none of them have, to which he says, their loss. He also does not know the name of either Larry or Richard. Guess what? He's not a nice boss. The 2 gentlemen proceed to tell him about this thing they've uncovered. He says, guys, it's Monday. Monday. Come back after lunch. Way after lunch.
Yeah.
Snap cut to lunch break, and the guys see Bernie bringing this 1980s piece of arm candy into a restaurant, a nice restaurant, while they're just eating outside by a hot dog truck, and they're a little bit jealous by this. I should also mention that Larry complains about living in a roach-infested New York apartment. What a true New Yorker. Richard, however, we finds out, still lives at home with his parents. And this will become a plot point later. They get back to the office. Richard passes by the elevator, and wouldn't you know it, the intern girl says, "I hope your aunt's feeling better." To which he says, "What?" Like an idiot. Oh. And eventually he runs back in the elevator, and guess what? Wouldn't you believe it? Richard got the date. What a guy. But they don't have too much time to dwell on this because it's back to the meeting with Bernie. Hey folks, this is literally 12 minutes into the movie. Bernie is on a phone call doing a sort of shady business deal. He is also rubbing his nose like he has clearly done cocaine right before they walked into the office, and he is telling whoever's on the phone that this deal has to be done strictly in cash. He tells the guys to sit down before they start introducing themselves, and he instantly walks out of the room, not even listening to what they're saying, before he comes back out of the bathroom, having done even more drugs in the middle of the workday.
You just gotta.
The two guys sit down to explain to Bernie what they have found. They basically uncovered a $2 million fraud policy claim for the company. Bernie literally, he tells them to call him Bernie. They're saying Mr. Lomax at this point. And Bernie literally says, "Mr. Lomax was my father, please." It's wild that this is used unironically in this film, but hey, that's the 1980s. Larry tells Bernie, "We both worked on this one, Bern." To which Bernie very rudely, not rudely, but very quickly says, "Don't call me Bernie. Don't call me Bern. Only Bernie." I guess you could say he was not feeling the burn. He does seem genuinely interested in their findings, however. And he also does randomly say, he pulls out his spectacles to look at the paperwork that they hand him, and he says, "Well, if anything has to go, I'm glad it's my vision and not the old joystick, you know what I mean?" Out of fucking nowhere. Again, solidifying the human being that Bernie Lomax is. Richard then tells Bernie to look at the back page. Life insurance policies were all taken out after the official date of death. Bernie says, "You're right. This is some good work, guys." Larry then jokes, "Well, looks like somebody tried to smoke it past the wrong guy," as he lights a cigarette, to which Bernie says, "There's no smoking in here," as he's actively smoking his own cigarette. It's fucking incredible. I love this movie. But guess what? Bernie loves them. Puts them on, wraps his arms around them and says, "All right, guys, this is going to take a quick second to look over. I want to make sure we're not getting anything wrong here. Why don't you come to my beach house this weekend up in the Hamptons? It's going to be great. We can have some fun. We can check this over, make sure this is real. Because if you've uncovered what I think you've uncovered, this is a big thing." The guys are obviously ecstatic. This is their big break. Larry literally walks out of the room saying, "He loves us. That guy literally loves us." Boom! Snap cut to a mafia side plot. Bernie is telling Vito, "You have to kill them, Vito, because they know too much." Turns out the side plot to steal $2 million was Bernie's idea the whole time. Vito tells Bernie, "We don't do that anymore, Bernie. We sell stock. We own parking lots." Then Vito instantly starts complaining about having the wrong salad dressing. It's a whole thing. But in the meantime, guess what? The mafia wife wants to fuck Bernie. She starts giving him a foot job under the table. Bernie makes this face. Eventually, Vito's associate, Paulie, says, "I'm a little rusty, but murdering might come back to me," which I think is a very funny line. Bernie gets up to leave immediately after guaranteeing that these men are going to die. And as he walks out,
his pants.
And after he creamed his pants,
the girlfriend also gets up, to which Vito then tells his second associate, who, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have a name, This guy on the left here. Forget about the 2 kids. Kill Lomax. He's too greedy. Besides, he's fucking my girlfriend. Outside, Tina, as we find her name to be, is actively groping Bernie. Literally steps from where her mafia boyfriend lives. And guess what? They're watching. Bernie is so dead. Why did he think this was okay?
No. Oh, Bernie.
I mean, he tried to tell her that it wasn't okay, but he didn't make that much of a protest.
Yeah, but it's not in the slides.
Yeah, for sure. Jump cut. Richard is on a date with the intern girl. Things seem to be going good. They both bemoan the fact that New York City is very loud, as evidenced by them passing by a garbage truck, to which a garbage man randomly says, "Hey, buddy, you wanted me to throw her in?" And nobody reacts like this is a wild thing to say. She makes a comment that she could never live with her parents again, and Richard, like the absolute moron that he is, lies about living with his parents and then invites her back to his parents' house. She seems very impressed by the place, mostly because it's owned by people with generational wealth. She says that it has a 1960s vibe to it. He comments, "Oh, I've been meaning to update it like a fucking moron." And she mentions that it contrasts well with the cheap dinner that he took her to. Richard then mentions that he can afford the apartment because of his parents' passing, in which he inherited their generational wealth. They start to make out on the couch because she thinks this is a great show of emotions. And would you fucking believe it? But Richard's dad walks through the living room in his underwear. I should note, this is the director of the film. This scene was guest directed by the actor who plays Larry. Richard implies that the man is his butler, and if they just remain quiet, he'll go away. However, Richard's dad notices them and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had company over. Nice to meet you." Richard then says, "Yes, Monroe, go please lay my blue suit out like a fucking moron." To which his dad says, "Oh yeah? What if I lay you out?" Incredible line. What a good dad. Gwen, we find out finally that her name is Gwen, is very pissed because she realizes that she's been had by this, and she leaves, very upset. Jump cut to Bernie in the Hamptons. He's showing up to his summer beach home. It's his all-time beach home, as we'll find out, and people fucking love him. Literally everybody, as he's coming off the dock, is like, "Hello, Mr. Lomax. Hey, Bernie. Party at your house tonight, Bernie." Everybody fucking loves him. But guess what? Oh shit, Paulie, the mafia assassin, is also at the Hamptons. We also go to Bernie's house as he pulls up in his golf cart, and he has a weird...
It looks unfinished.
It's like a brutalist.
I will say that this house was built solely for this movie and then was taken down. This movie only had a budget of $15 million, and I cannot imagine how much of that went to this house, because it is luxurious, as you will see. Bernie has a weird interaction with his housekeeper, in which he kicks him in the butt and yells at him for drinking all his liquor and doing nothing. He then gets inside the house and sees his gardener, who he dismisses because he's getting a phone call. This is also funny because this actor played the villain in one of the Rambo movies, which was also directed by this director, and he's wearing a similar costume. That's what I was told according to Wikipedia. These guys are forgettable, but do remember them. Bernie gets to the phone in time, and guess what? It's Paulie, the assassin. Bernie is like, "Okay, you need to wait till you're really early. Why are you on the island so early? They're not going to be here till 6 o'clock. Wait to kill them till I'm off the island. I want to have an alibi." We also jump cut to the boys. They jump on a boat, which will take them to the Hamptons. They do a big show. They're like, "Oh shit, we're gonna miss it." They jump on the boat, and then they find out that the boat was actually just docking, and they have 30 minutes before the boat was gonna take off. It's not that important, but still funny. Yeah. Back to Bernie. Paulie jump scare. Paulie opened and entered his home without him knowing. He was not ready for this. It's very good. He then asks Bernie for a cigarette, to which Bernie turns around to grab a cigarette, and Paulie injects Bernie in the butt with some lethal dose of drugs. And guess what, folks? Roughly 30 minutes into the movie, Bernie fucking dies. Rest in peace.
From a lethal butt injection?
Yeah. Paulie then proceeds to change his outfit just slightly into a priest robe. It's incredible. He puts on glasses on Bernie and fucking leaves. But would you believe it? While he is leaving the island, he runs into Richard and Larry, who are asking him for directions to Bernie's house, to which he says, "Bless you, my son," and leaves. They end up still finding their way, and they just walk up to the house, peek in through the back door, they pass by the pool, it's very impressive, and they end up entering the home anyway, because who the fuck cares? It's the 80s. Nobody locks their doors. This home is palatial. It's incredible. They're walking around looking like this. There's an incredible line where Richard tells Larry, "See, man, you could work hard. You could have a place like this." And Larry says, "My old man worked hard, and all they gave him was more work." Cannot stress how much I love their dynamic and this line. Surprise! Another person shows up in the house, and her name might as well be Tits McGee, because she's jiggling like a dead or alive character after an all-you-can-eat buffet, and she tells the guys to tell Bernie that she's borrowing his boat. Larry says, "Hi, Tawny, I'm horny." It's the 1980s. You kind of got to get past a little of it. If you can, you're going to have a good time, but I do want to preface the very 1980s humor.
I watched this movie when I was 10.
You should not have, because of plot points I will explain later. She borrows the keys to Bernie's boat. This becomes a plot point later. Either way, she's gone. Larry helps himself by opening the mini fridge, which contains only champagne and caviar. That's the kind of life Bernie lives in his island house. Guess what? They find Bernie. Initially, they think he's asleep for genuinely several minutes. They start to pick him up to try and bring him to the living room and get him some coffee. They're bringing him in. There's a very great physical comedy bit where they slam him head first into the couch. The gang gets exasperated by this, but eventually they recover. This is an incredible shout out to Terry Kaiser, the actor who played Bernie, who just about every scene where you look at him, he has this incredible tiny smirk on his face caused by rigor mortis, and it's immaculate. I will shout it out several times as we continue. Larry goes to make coffee, and it starts to dawn on Richard that Bernie isn't waking up or moving or breathing. He checks his pockets and finds an incredible amount of drugs that I forgot to mention Paulie planted on him to make it look like a suicide or an accidental overdose. And the two guys are freaked the fuck out. Richard instantly wants to call the police. Larry, on the other hand, is pissed. He literally says, "Couldn't he have waited 3 more days to die? We were going to get that promotion." And then he also adds, "and he was going to at least pay for our ride back to the city," which is very funny. Richard,
fair.
for some unknown reason, gets worried that the cops are going to think they did it. This seems a little sus, but it doesn't matter because instantly this guy shows up who literally yells, "Come on, Bernie, get off your ass. It's party time." And walks by Bernie saying, "Don't get up. I'll help myself," as he proceeds to make himself a martini. And then Richard says, "He's dead." Well, he has a literal fly that moves around his shoulder on this scene. Absolutely wild. Just very much a Troll 2 callback. To which the guy responds, "Well, that's the idea, isn't it?" At this point, instantly, there are like 80 people in this house. Like, it went from like maybe 10 people were walking in the door to there are so many goddamn people. We have this woman trying to talk to him. This guy is an incredible running joke where every time he sees Bernie, he's trying to buy his car from him, his sports car from him. Right here, he's like, "Okay, Bernie, $25,000 for your Maserati. Let me know what you think about it." And Bernie, of course, is fucking dead, so he says nothing. And he's like, all right, you're going to blue ball me? It's fine. I'll be back. You think about it. We also get this couple where the woman says that she's just written a book in which she found that Sherlock Sholmes was gay. That's just an incredible callback to Great Ace Attorney, and I can't fucking believe that it's in this. Then we have Torso Tony, which, wouldn't you believe it, the guy on the left is doing an incredible Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. Also an accident.
It's an accident.
Because he proceeds to stretch Bernie out, and he literally does like a neck break motion, and the two guys are like, ugh! But nobody has any idea that Bernie is no longer alive. Also, this girl comes up to him and says, "You've got something for me, right, Bernie?" And then opens his pocket and finds the lethal dose of drugs that he was carrying and just takes them with her. And nobody says anything.
Oh no.
Before they can do anything, guess what? Running Joke Guy is back again, and this time he's offering $3,000. But again, Terry Kaiser is fucking incredible, and this man walks off. Look at this fucking face. It's so funny to me. Richard at this point is freaking the fuck out and is like, we have to call the police for real. But Larry tries to talk him down, saying, listen, this is Bernie's dying wish that we came here for this weekend, so we should enjoy it before we report this to the police. Sure. And Richard is about to have a moral panic before he sees, shit, the intern Gwen that he had a crush on is here.
Her belt's huge, man.
It's the 80s.
It's a statement belt. It's gotta be huge.
So he rushes off to talk to Gwen, hanging up the phone. Guess what? Running Joke Guy is back for a third time.
Yeah.
Fucking Larry comes in to save the day. Says like, "Oh, he's a hardballer, am I right?" And like pushes him away, and then proceeds to wrap Bernie's arm around his shoulder, full well knowing that this is a corpse. Larry is a monster. Anyways, jump cut to Richard. He's apologizing to Gwen, saying that he's so sorry that he lied to her. He just wanted to make a good impression. And Gwen genuinely takes this apology, saying a weird line about how it was kind of funny to see his father in his underwear. Weird. Anyways, we jump back to Larry, who has left Bernie's corpse sitting on the couch alone to hit on this random woman. This is a very weird scene to me. It stood out because this is the only F-bomb in the show, in the entire movie. Larry tries to hit on this woman. He pulls out a cigarette, tries to light hers, to which she just abruptly says, "Fuck you." And he throws a cigarette behind him and walks back to Bernie's corpse. Again, I don't know why this is what they wasted their fuck on, but it was very funny. Gwen decides that she wants to go thank Bernie for her summer-long internship, to which Richard says, "No!" She is very confused why he is so mad, but proceeds to go anyways. Thankfully, she gets stopped by the first guy that came into the house, who for some reason tells her that she'll always be a Vanessa to him. It's strange. It's never really clarified. But the guys realize they need to move Bernie's body.
Yeah.
Because it's in the center of a party of at least 80 people at this point. They proceed to pick him up and instantly drop him through a table.
Oh, no.
They pick him back up again and everybody cheers. It's very silly. They get his body outside, and would you fucking believe it, the Running Joke Guy is back for a fourth time, asking, "Bernie, please, $50,000 and I'll give you free tennis lessons for the rest of your life." Because they're not actively holding Bernie's head up, he shakes his head downwards, and the guy takes this to be a yes, and slaps Bernie on the chest, to which pushes the entire momentum of the group out, and Bernie goes over the balcony, and Bernie fucking dies again. Just kidding. The guys are freaked out. Thankfully, nobody has seen this, but what do? They need to move the body before anybody sees, but guess what? Before Richard can do anything legitimate, he sees that Gwen is alone on the beach.
He's
His
gotta fuck Gwen.
only weakness is Gwen. He immediately says, "I'll be back in 30 minutes. Larry says, "Not a minute more," and he rushes off after Gwen. Larry returns to the party. They do nothing about the body, just laying off the side of the house. Richard catches up with Gwen. He apologizes to her a second time, asks her why she's not with the party. She said, "It's not really my crowd," and the two of them proceed to walk down the beach towards a lighthouse. This is genuinely a nice scene. They're having a good time. We do get a snap cut back to Bernie's body where the tide is actively rising on it, and they do a little like evil buzzer music here. Richard at the top of the lighthouse with Gwen. They're having a great time. He says, "You know, I've never really learned how lighthouses work," and proceeds to look directly into the light. To which he goes, "Oh!" And then
He never really knew how eyes worked either.
right, and then he instantly falls through the trap door that led them up here and falls down all of the stairs. Somehow Richard is able to recover from this. Gwen helps him back up. She feels sympathy for him, and I will say that he does genuinely put on the riz here. He says one line of like, "This has been a great date. I hope my insurance can cover it." She offers to sit down with him on the beach, and he says, "No, knowing my luck, I'm going to break my ass." She's very much into it. They have a great little conversation, and they kiss.
Oh shit.
Richard tells Gwen, "I've had a crush on you since the first day I saw you at work." And suddenly, Bernie's body washes up right behind her. To which he yells out, "This can't be happening to me!" Gwen doesn't see the body and grabs his head and pulls him back for a kiss and says, "This is happening to both of us." Incredible line. What a beautiful moment. He is able to get Gwen away from Bernie's body without seeing him and sends her off home. She is a little bit upset about this, though, because the date was going well. Richard runs back into the house. He sees the guy they first met in the exact same position as Bernie. There's a little joke about, "Oh no, is he dead too?" He's fine. It's whatever. He runs up the stairs, slams on the door, asking for Larry, saying, "Bernie needs you, Larry." To which Larry opens the door and self-reports saying, "Can you give me just 30 seconds? Incredible line. This is also funny because in the sequel of this movie, which I am not covering today, we find out that Larry is canonically a virgin. Moving on. They get Bernie's bodies back from the sea somehow, and they're about to tuck him into bed when, would you believe it, spurned lover Tina, who you might remember from groping Bernie earlier, shows up to the house screaming that Bernie better be alone. He better not be cheating on her, which he absolutely was. We know this to be true. The two guys say that Bernie isn't here. I don't know what you're talking about. She proceeds to get a knife from the fucking kitchen, to which they say, "He's upstairs, sleeping." She runs upstairs. The two of them go to grab another drink. They know the jig is up. She's about to realize the dead body is there. Jump cut to on the beach. Mafia goon number 2 is checking in on Bernie's house, I guess. He uses binoculars, and folks,
Oh no.
this is where the movie does a necrophilia joke.
Yeah.
She
Rigor mortis.
absolutely has sex with that dead body for some period of time, because the guys comment on it. She asks for a glass of scotch. Richard laughs kind of uncomfortably and sits down. And Larry comments, "I get yelled at when I just lay there." Which is, admittedly, a funny joke in light of the situation. Jump cut to Mafia Goon number 2. He's on the payphone. He's calling Vito, and he tells him explicitly Bernie was having sex for over 30 minutes.
And watching.
And you hear Vito go, "Over 30 minutes?" on the other line of the phone. This is very funny. Richard and Larry are absolutely spent, although Richard much more than Larry. He proceeds to go to bed on the futon in the living room. Larry says he's going to continue. There's another party next door. Jump cut to the morning. Larry is playing Monopoly with Bernie's corpse. He has made a drink for him and stuck a cigarette in his mouth to make it appear like he is still alive. Some ladies walk by on the beach, to which we also realize that Larry has hung a string pulley system onto Bernie's arm so that he can wave to the women on the beach.
Incredible.
This is pretty fucked up, some might say. We also realize that Paulie has come back to the island to make sure that Bernie is dead this time, seemingly thinking that he was not. Richard comes out on the beach, realizes that Larry has stolen Bernie's watch. They also comment that there are flies swarming around Bernie at this point. It's not that important because he can't do anything before Gwen is here again. She came back to tell Bernie that she's still thankful for the internship.
Oh my, whatever.
Oh, I know, right?
Try hard.
Richard tries to tell her the truth that Bernie is dead here, and she gets mad at him because she's like, just like you said your parents were dead, just like you said your aunt was dead, I'm not fucking buying it. Also, we notice that Polly is lurking around the balcony of the building. Gwen does not believe Richard, like I said. And Larry fucking dumps his body off the side of the balcony to hide him from Gwen. This, however, dumps him directly on top of Polly. And Polly freaks the fuck out and is like, I got you, you son of a bitch! Ah! And proceeds to choke out an already dead body. He then does check his pulse to make sure that he is dead before leaving because Polly is a professional. Richard and Gwen come out onto the balcony and they ask where Bernie is. Larry says that he went to go get more daiquiri mix. Richard is fucking pissed at this joke because it made him look like an asshole. And Gwen ran off pissed again at Richard. Richard decides to go and actually finally call the police at this point. But because Bernie's phone system is too complicated, it ends up playing the recording of the phone call he had with Polly earlier, telling him to kill them and wait until Bernie got off the island to do so. They both don't take this well, which is maybe the first understandable thing they've done in this entire movie.
Yes, Leprechaun. Yes.
That's when Richard and Larry kiss. Well, almost. They find Bernie's fake note as well as a bunch of money in a briefcase. This was their going to be suicide note that Bernie had written for them. It's kind of uncomfortable. It's a joke that has aged poorly. I'm not going to go that much into it. This is the one joke that I think is unacceptable in this film in modern days. Anyways, they call the police again. The police say, the police officer? Yeah, he's on the beach. And they're like, well, when is he going to be back? And they're like, well, I don't know. Do you want to leave a message? The one police officer on this island is worthless. That's incredible. The two of them freak out knowing that they are now wanted criminals.
Yeah.
Or not wanted criminals, but they're trying to be assassinated. But as they're about to run out the door,
trying to be assassinated.
Yeah, you know. Larry has a brilliant idea. The voicemail said that they won't kill them until Bernie is gone. So they say, well, we should just have Bernie's body with us. They can't kill us while Bernie is around. So they go back to look for Bernie's body, and guess what? This fucking child has buried his entire body in the sand except for the face. They proceed to yell at this child and chase him away, where he says, "Kiss this!" and slaps his ass. It's very funny. They're able to chase the kid off, and snap cut back to the living room. They're cleaning up Bernie's body, which is covered in sand. It's grotesque. It's very gross. And would you believe it? While they're doing this, the vacuum cleaner rips off Bernie's toupee. This bald cap is so damn bad. It's only in a few shots, but everyone, it looks horrible.
It does look good.
But before they can react to this, there are surprise gunshots. These are very real gunshots. The two boys jump behind the nearest couch. Larry proceeds to try and recite a Hail Mary, and he forgets the words, which is very funny. They do a good bit about that. And what happens around the corner? A hand holding a gun is pointing at them. It's the same kid, Jason, who is burying his body on the beach. God. This kid is a monster. They chase him off again, and Larry proceeds to staple Bernie's hair back onto his body.
Nice.
They throw him in this little wagon and bring him down to the golf cart, The whole time his head is going because this is the point where they start getting fucking wild with the dark humor as far as what they do to this dead body. They flip him onto the golf cart in what is almost a proto Family Guy death pose and proceed to drive towards the beach. Some jokes happen here. It's not that important. While they're on the way, though, they absolutely have a moment where like his head is like leaning on one of their shoulders, and each of them like bumps it back to the other guy. Terry Kaiser again is absolutely crushing it with the facial expressions here. What a goddamn hero! They get to the harbor and they're like, "Fuck, we have to get him on the boat." But if we just like carry him, people will know it's a dead body. So they tie their shoestrings together and proceed to walk with him. Richard has his hand up the back of his jacket and like holding his head to like turn to make it look like he's looking at people. It's pretty good.
I love how this is the idea of less conspicuous.
Right. However, the boat that they're trying to get on is leaving the harbor before they can get there. And would you believe it? Paulie was on that boat and he fucking hates it. He sees Bernie walking in his eyes and he's like, what the fuck? I've killed this guy twice. But he can't get them. The boat is far enough away from the harbor and he doesn't want to swim. So he takes it all the way back to New York and then has to catch a ride back again. So the boys have time. Meanwhile, they have a backup idea. Remember Tawny, the girl from the beginning? She mentioned Bernie's boat. Bernie has a private boat. They're going to take his boat back to Manhattan. Yes, Jang, Terry Kaiser is the actual body for 90% of this movie. They did not use a fake for this, except for when they used a stunt double, which I will talk about. They decide, okay, we need to go back to his house to get the keys. So one of us should stay here with the body. The other one should go back. But neither of them wants to go without his body because they think without the body, they're going to be killed instantly. So they both go back to the house. However, when they show up, they see a shadowy figure creeping around the side of the house. So they freak out. It's an assassin. Richard grabs a block of wood from the fireplace. And would you believe it? It's the fucking gardener from before. Richard absolutely misses the first swing he tries to take against this man who doesn't even know he's there. He gets back up and then he does clock him and he passes out. There's an incredibly good bit where they show the couch that Larry is hiding behind and he raises fucking Bernie's head in front of it first. 10 out of 10. Again, Terry Kaiser fucking killing it. But would you believe it? The other housekeeper shows up and he sees the dead body on the ground and he goes to check on it and Richard fucking clocks this guy too. Let the bodies hit the floor. The two guys then proceed to shove both of the bodies in the closet. They instantly get back to the harbor. They get back on the boat. They tie Bernie's body to the boat. But guess what? They don't know how to work a fucking boat because how would they? They push buttons and at one point the back starts raising and it lifts Bernie's body up and they have a funny gag about that. Eventually, they figure out how to start the boat, but they didn't untie the fucking back of the boat. So they have to crank it max speed, and as soon as the boat rips away from the harbor, they run into this other boat called Raw Bar. And these people are fucking dead. That's all I'm trying to say. There is another snobbish couple on their boat watching this, which they give the incredible line, "That's illegal. What you're doing is illegal." To which Larry tries to stop the boat by throwing the anchor and it lands on their boat. They also die, I guess. Eventually, they're finally off. The three, they're on the boat. They've got Bernie locked down. They get distracted by another boat with women in bikinis on it, and they almost die again. They run into another boat, but they just narrowly miss it, and they go over a huge wake. They flip, and would you believe it, Bernie's body gets a little bit untethered and falls into the water. And it's still attached to the boat, so it's like water skiing, but just the body. The two guys proceed to have a very funny, like, conversation where they're like apologizing to each other, where they're like, listen, I'm sorry, I said a lot of things back there, you know, I thought we were gonna die, blah 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 blah. They then see some wake markers, like the little like buoys in the water, showing you like where you can and can't drive your boat, and they don't know what that means. So Larry suggests to Richard that they drive between them all, like serpentine between them all. And Bernie's body proceeds to hit every single one with a very loud ding. And at this point, they're probably going like 50 miles per hour. This body in real life is destroyed.
He would have been obliterated.
But they realize that they fucked up and Bernie's body is being dragged behind them. So they proceed to drag it back up onto the boat. And they start to move again when, would you believe it, the boat has ran out of fucking gas. Good guess with Gwen, though, because they then use his body as a flotation device. They somehow end up on the beach behind Bernie's house, which I don't think that's how the geography of this area works.
That's not how the Hamptons work at all.
Right. Meanwhile, Paulie is returning back to the island. He finally got his return route. The boys are back at the house. Would you believe it? Gwen happens to see them. There you go, Vic. You were dead on. And the boys see her. They're peeping in the background here. And Richard, again, is trying to come clean. Gwen does not believe him. Larry gets tired and says, look, here's the dead body, and drags it down the steps.
Mr. Bernie, I want to thank you for my internship.
Right. Gwen is understandably pretty fucking surprised by this.
Yeah.
Really good.
Richard then instantly says, yeah, but we didn't kill him, though. Do we look like murderers to you? Surprise!
Right
the
now,
guys in the closet bust out, and Richard and Larry instantly clock them over the heads again. There's this great shot of Richard as he turns back to Gwen holding the broken glass bottle. It's very funny. This is a good bit. But guess what? Another fucking surprise. Paulie's here! And he instantly shoots Bernie's corpse 6 times. He says something in Italian in this shot, and he weirdly does like an upside down Spider-Man. I don't know what he was doing here.
That's most likely the Maloik, the evil eye.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Italian culture by Prij.
Yes. It's a way to curse someone. You give them the evil eye.
Gotcha. Well, he shoots Bernie's corpse 6 times, and the trio are understandably upset by this. Paulie instantly turns his gun towards them, and they have a funny bit where Richard is like, I didn't see anything, and Larry literally closes his eyes and goes, I'm blind. Paulie again holds the gun at them. He pulls the trigger, but would you fucking believe it? No. Can you count? He shot all 6 bullets into Bernie's body. The trio rejoices. They realize that he is unarmed for some temporary period of time. Paulie proceeds to pull his jacket off.
Paulie.
But this one isn't. He has a second gun, you fucking morons. Paulie proceeds to chase them throughout the house, shooting at them. The trio run upstairs. There's this genuine good moment where Larry tells the two of them to hide in one of the bedrooms to call the police, and he'll draw his fire. He runs back down the stairs. Paulie follows him, and he comes to Bernie at the bottom of the stairs, and he kind of, looking at the shot, Paulie could easily just walk over this body, right?
Yeah.
He proceeds to pull the leg that's standing up, and then it flies back and hits him in the balls. He got kicked in the balls by a dead guy. This causes Paulie to shoot his last bullet that he currently has into Bernie's body again, which leaves him with no bullets, and he must reload his gun. Larry then takes this chance, grabs a phone cord, and tries to strangle Paulie with it. Paulie is a master assassin, though, and holds up his hand to stop it from getting to his neck. This is genuinely a good moment. Paulie knows how to kill people and how to not be killed. However, he is not good enough, as Larry then just proceeds to kind of run circles around him and tie him up even further before eventually shoving him to the ground. Paulie is trapped. He is down. Richard is like at this point being like, I can come, I can help, and he grabs a lamp, but Larry doesn't need it. He tells Polly, stand up and fight like a man, even though he's clearly tied up at this point. And then he proceeds to punch Polly in the fucking face, killing him instantly. Just kidding. He falls into Bernie's arm. And Polly is having a moment right now. He thinks that Bernie is unkillable and tells Bernie, I always liked you, Bernie. Please have mercy. Jump cut. Yeah, jump cut to the police have finally arrived. Everything seems to be going well. Polly is tied up in what looks like a
asylum robe.
Yeah.
Straight jacket.
Straight jacket. Thank you. Telling the cops that Bernie is still alive. This is a fine joke. Whatever. The trio are happy. They've survived their moment. They're on the beach. And would you believe it? We cut to the ambulance, which is loading Bernie's body onto it. These girls say, what's happening? The ambulance driver says, oh, didn't you hear? Bernie Lomax has been killed. They're so shocked by this. You know what the fucking ambulance driver wasn't focused on? The goddamn body, because it's on a slope and starts sliding down the fucking ramp towards the beach, in which it flips into the sand right behind our trio. He's standing behind them, and some girls call out, hey, Bernie, party at your place again tonight? The trio turn around. They see Bernie's corpse behind him. They understandably freak out. Credits fucking roll. But would you believe it? There's one more joke. The shitty kid comes up again. He asks Bernie, hey, mister, can I bury you? Getting no response, he starts doing it anyways. Fuck this kid. Fun fact about this kid, he is actually Jason Woliner, who became a director and producer in television. He's worked on New Girl, Funny or Die, and the Adult Swim action comedy series Eagleheart, which stars Chris Elliott. Not the good one, though. Oh.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah. Wow. That was Weekend at Bernie's.
Damn.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I hope that was fun. How long was that?
What would you rate out of
The Virgin?
I won.
Ew, three gooners rise up, says Panic Pang. Goddamn. No, Vic, you brought the heat. You absolutely
Congratulations.
You swerved, you zagged on us with the fucking Bibble lore into the Mpreg, so congrats to you. That was really good.
That was the plan.
Yeah, no. The fact that several of you zagged on us was incredible. Hey folks, that's gonna do it for our PowerPoint presentation stream. Let us know if you felt differently about the results. That's not a slight on Vic. I just want to engage commenters.
No, genuinely, which ones did you like? Which one would you genuinely do? Because the thing is...
what have you learned the most about tonight?
Yes, what
would
happened?
would you watch Weekend at Bernie's
Was it
now?
ice cream? Was it the way to classify a group of states? Was it Arnold Schwarzenegger? Or was it Weekend at Bernie's?
What
we really covered all the major subjects.
Wait, there's fan art for the stream?
Oh god.
Oh,
I did see a very good piece of art.
No Greek call.
Shrink this giant bibble real quick.
I love him.
Just shrink this giant.
I love
bibble
him
real
so
fast.
much. I love him so much.
Man, if only we got the bibble lore this stream, huh?
You'll get it next time. Maybe. Join Patreon. Let us know. Do you want the Bibble stream?
They definitely want the Bibble stream. Sparrow on with low effort Bibble Preg in honor of this stream. 10 out of 10. No notes. This is immaculate.
I love it. I need it as a sticker. I need this personally in my life.
Preg. Jesus Christ. B Preg. Incredible Sparrow on. And we have Eric Beddington with, this was basically the PowerPoint stream. Arnold reading Richard/Larry Mpreg eating melted ice cream on top of the Great Lakes region.
On top of the Great Lakes.
God.
So good. So good.
God, that's incredible.
I love it.